Hello there, my name is Bruce Rain from Brankus Creations, and thank you very much for joining me here today on this live stream. I hope everything's okay. I didn't do any sort of sound check. It was testing 1, 2, 3. Yep, seems to be coming through. So hello to everyone. Hello to Lane Brown. Hello Hot Rod. Hello Steve. Thank you for joining. I expect that Jay may well join at some stage, but we know he's a little bit preoccupied at the moment with his new toy, so we may not see him today. Just a little recap on yesterday's recap. I worked on an SE30, which in actual fact wasn't a recap at all. It was just doing a few little trace repairs, and that all started up and worked beautifully, so that's happy joy. And then I started looking at this train wreck of a Mac 2, which is ultimately, it's a bit of a spaghetti job. I really should have taken a photo of this, shouldn't I? So I could make a thumbnail for this later on. And maybe I'll do that now. Get a little iPhone photo of this thing here. How's everyone doing today? Okay, here we go. Spaghetti. There we go. That's that's a nice photo. Oh yeah, that's great. Would have been good to get a photo of it before I started work on it, but never mind. And I'm basically just going to continue working my way through this. Who's messaging me all the time? Voicemails? Who knows? Okay. Figured out a magnification setup. Okay. Do tell us more. So yes, Mac 2, what I hate about these is how gigantic the boards are. They don't sit on my desk particularly well. What I like about these is they're a Mac 2, and to be honest, I have an incredible fondness for them because the very first Mac that I ever bought was a Mac 2. Bought with my own money. I mean, I've been using Macs for a long time, but one that I actually bought for myself. And I was secondhand, and I found the purchase order for it recently, and it cost me $3,500 for Macintosh 2 with a monitor. So there you go. Recaps with just my naked eye. Yes, well, I started doing that, and I have to tell you, the magnification definitely makes it easier. No doubt about that. So I've got my wire here, and this wire, 2 different thicknesses of wire. I don't think I'll need the really thin stuff for this. I'll just be using the thick stuff and the medium-sized one. I generally use the thick stuff if I'm wanting to add some rigidity to the repair, so because this wire, is fairly strong and help hold things in place like I did yesterday with one of the capacitors. I should just jump across here and show that one for anyone who was not present yesterday. There we go. Let's have a look at the microscope view. There we go. So that's the this one here. As you can see, there's this wire coming from the side, so it goes from there to there. There used to be a trace and a pad there, but there ain't no more. And so I actually use this wire as part of the kind of holding mechanism. You can see it's got a little bit of a wobble there, but I don't think that's going anywhere. And once I use a little bit of a UV mask on it, that's going to hold it nice and tight. And then I did the same for this one here. You can see there's a wire there that's being used to hold that in. So I used a nice big thick wire for that one to give us some strength. And then I used the thin wire for this, which is just just a thin trace repair there. It doesn't really need super amount of strength there. Neo, hello. Hi, Australian. I've been watching for a few months now. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Turning the spaghetti into lasagna. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Okay, so I also found this yesterday after my live stream. Yay. So we've got a little bit of work to do here. I'm going to remove all of this nonsense here. Every single bit of it. I'm going to take this component off and then see what the damage is like underneath, and we'll go from there. Actually, I might even start with that because, to be honest, that's something that I'm really not looking forward to doing, so I may as well do that first. It's been already been recapped with a bunch of through-hole caps like like that. Some axial ones. You can see they're going through the holes there. Nothing really wrong with that. The original board allows for either axial or surface mount capacitors. I am probably going to replace them with surface mount just because I kind of have to take everything off anyway. I may as well put them on there, put new ones on there. So anyhow, without further ado, I may as well get started. as usual, feel free to ask me any questions during the live stream. I didn't do much in the way of promoting this live stream, so I'm not expecting a whole lot of viewers here today. But yeah, feel free to... oh, Madeline, hello. Welcome to the live stream. Yeah, feel free to ask me any questions. You know, sort of... you know, stop me partway through or anything like that. Always feel free to say hello as well. So, anyhow, let's get rolling. So the first thing I'm going to do is take this capacitor off, and I shall probably do that. I'll do that with a top-down view. How about that? Let me get this microscope out of the way. Out of the way, you. There we go. Okay, so yep. There's a slight delay here in when I move things and when they actually happen. So we've got delays back, so isn't that good? The last stream was way too good. Couldn't expect that to last forever. All right, so this guy's got to come out. Oh, did I bring goggles down here with me? I'm sure I meant to bring goggles down here. Yes, I did. Yay! I didn't have them yesterday. It was terrible. Yeah, this is a nightmare board. It is, but, you know, got to be done. As I was saying yesterday, I really don't criticize anyone who wants to have a crack at these sorts of things themselves. I mean, you know, it's what I would do. I mean, when you're, you know, sort of if you think you have the ability to fix it yourself without having to send it somewhere else, so like, yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to have a crack. Oh, wow. Okay. But in this instance, it's had to come to me anyway. So hang on, I'm going to have a look at this. What to do? Hey, why is that there? Okay. So someone's really bent these pins back. All right, I'm going to try the machine for this thing as I have it on. Anyone who doesn't know what the machine is, it's this guy here, which is a, what do you call it, solder sucker, motorized one, that should allow me to just plug this on here, get that solder nice and melted, and suck. Don't like the look of that. I really don't like the look of that. Let's have a look at that under the microscope, shall we? Sorry. Apple Museum in Amanzig, hello again. Thank you for joining. All right. Now, I was murmuring to myself that I don't like the look of it. What I don't like the look of, apart from the fact that we're completely and totally out of focus, which I'll remedy that now. There we go. Is I don't like the fact that we've lost all of the metal around here. This has been damaged during the recapping process. We can see the via, the little hole that goes through, is rather damaged. Oh dear, oh, I don't want to do any more damage. This thing is so weakened already that if I get too overzealous with this, I'm going to do some further damage, and I really don't want to do that. Gently, gently. Okay, and while we're here, let's get rid of this component adhesive. There we go. Right, so it's basically how these boards used to be made back in the day. They would put component adhesive on the board, then a pick and place machine would grab the component, stick it on the component adhesive. They would then bake it so that the component was adhered to the board, and then they would run this through a solder bath, and the solder would just adhere to all the metal. They don't do that anymore. What they do nowadays is they use a stenciling process. So they get the board, and then they get a stencil, and the stencil has little holes on for where all the pads where there should be solder. and then they put down a layer of solder paste, and then they put a pick and place machine there, put the components there, and then they just run it through heat, and the solder paste melts, and the stuff sticks to the board. Nice and easy. So, where there are videos on the subject, and some quite good ones too. Where is my scalpel? Now, if whoever took it just owns up, hang on, here it is, got it. Everything's fine. So I'm just looking at these little black spots here on that copper. Don't like the look of either of those, so I'm probably going to do a little bit of a trace repair on those. And I think they're still making contact, but I mean, look how bad that one is there. There we go. That one there. Bad. Difficult to focus as well. There we go. Focus. Okay. So the biggest fear I have, of course, is that these traces here don't go to where they're meant to go anymore because of the damage. But we just, I guess, have to hope. Negative, I should be able to just test on a ground, hopefully. And just see. Yep, that one's good. And that's a positive. Well, yeah, I could hunt that down. I think I might even have a schematic for this somewhere. Anyhow, we've got to do the normal thing here. We've got to clean up the... Actually, why am I doing that now? Let's take this component off first, shall we? Let's do the fun bit. I may not finish this today, just so that everyone has an expectation. This is a big job. Oh, back in a bit. Okay, Steve, no worries. Okay. Christopher Bourne, hello. Nick Y, hello. And Jay, hello. How's everything going with the new toys? Having fun? I didn't think I would see you today because I figured you would probably just be too wrapped. Just getting rid of these old trace repairs. Because, needless to say, I'm going to make new ones. Watchie. Hey, off. Away, away. And of course, there is also, I should warn people that there is a possibility that I will have to stop this stream early. Because there is, my wife is headed out, and there is a possibility she'll come home with lunch. When she does that, I'm heading off to eat because I'm freaking hungry. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. So I'm going to take this component off, going to clean up. We're just going to see what the damage is like. Here we go. Might need to clean this component up a little bit too. I'll just put him just there, so don't lose him. The 8-bit PC, hello there. Greetings from the Czech Republic. Hello, hello, hello. I used to know a little bit of Czech, but I can't remember it anymore. I knew someone from Ústí nad Labem, and yeah, taught me a little bit of Czech, but that's a long time ago, and my brain just doesn't hold on to information terribly long. New information goes in, old information goes out. Okay. Where are we? Where are we? Okay. Is this all cap juice corruption? No, I suspect not. I suspect some of this is human intervention, shall we say. Actually, in most of any damage you see in this general vicinity, well, it could be caps, but it's probably more likely to be the batteries. That's certainly what I see with these. I'm having to be so careful here because this stuff has just been so badly weakened. I'm scared. I'm scared. Wow, look at those traces underneath that component. How bad. Anyway. Chad Dubanov, hello, nicely opened my own repair shop and always looking to learn more things. Cool. I would like you to live stream too, so I can learn things from you. It's freezing outside. That's no good. It's actually pretty mild here at the moment. I mean, it's 21 degrees Celsius and it's been raining and stuff. I mean, same time last year it was like, you know, getting to 40. So yeah, it's been really mellow sort of summer. People jumping on and saying hello here. So I got to say hello to Jared Burma. Hello to NK Morpheus. Hello to Black Booster. Have I missed anyone else here? So hello Scarlet Swordfish. Is that Black Booster? Is that Kurosawa? Am I saying that right? Sorry. About 30 kilometers from you. How about that? No, this is definitely off of the phone. You know, minus 20 here. Live in Northern Canada. Yeah, no, thank you. I mean, I like the fact that in this weather I can still wear shorts. And comical t-shirts. Comical t-shirts. Here we go. Let's get my comical t-shirt. There we go. Okay. Right. Let's continue. Oh. Uh-oh. Bear with me just a second. Yep, as I suspected, my wife is on her way home with lunch. Which means I'm going to probably have to stop this live stream, which is very embarrassing. And maybe pick it up after lunch. We can just call it a false start. I'm going to get so much grief about that, though. Boy, can you imagine? Imagine what Jay's going to say. He'd be like, what the hell, man? Oh, jeez. There's so much work here. I really should have figured this out better in terms of timing. It's kind of interesting because this time of year I'm sometimes ridiculously busy and sometimes I'm very quiet. And I was really busy in the lead up to Christmas. Just didn't have time to do anything. Oh, goodbye. And then it just sort of died down, and I've got no complaints. I've got so much other stuff to do. But all right, so we've got plenty of issues here. So we're going to need to run wires across here. That one is okay. I'd like to ideally do a few repairs on this one. This one. This is like one component on this thing. Gosh. I mean, what's it like under this one? What do you reckon? This one could be just as bad under there. Strike a light. Seriously, just this one component could take me days. No, that's not true, but it will take me a while. Do. Just bear with me a second here. Do. Right. Michael's Workshop. G'day, g'day. Okay. Right, okay. All right, let's just get into it. We've got to do it. It has to be done. I guess start from the top down, I suppose, maybe. Let's get the old beepity beep machine out, and we'll just see just how bad some of this damage is. So, got this top one here, and he goes to there. Beep. Beep. Bugger. Okay, so no beep. So I'm going to have to do a trace repair here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to run a wire along there, up there, along there, and along there, to there. And I am going to then have that wire in place as a spot for the foot of the component, the pin of the component to land and to get attached to. This is wow. This is going to be challenging. I just wanted to let you know that. So, and then of course I have to do more repairs in the same area. So when I put the new repairs down, I have to make sure I don't melt the old ones. Wow. Oh, actually, you know what? I should do this. I might just suck the solder out of that while I'm here. This guy's lucky I like Mac 2s. Otherwise I'd just be like, nah. Can't do it, nah. Oh, fume extractor. Helps. Right, let's find the good tweezers. Are these the good tweezers? They are good tweezers, but not the good tweezers. I need the good tweezers. Are these the good tweezers? Yes, these are the good tweezers. Right, so first thing we've got to do is, well, we need to get this down. Once it's anchored somewhere, life gets a little bit easier. Probably going to need 2 tweezers. So I've got a very small anchor going on there. Bend down. Okay. So then I need to attach it to there. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Just for anyone out there, basically what you're watching now is a preview of what's going to be going on for the next however long this stream goes for. Me continually cursing. And bending little trace wires. That'll be about it. But I will answer any questions that people have along the way. I need to swap tweezers here. And in my quest for neatness, I'm actually making this worse. Get it together. Get it together, Mr. Branches. Are you putting fresh time every time you anchor? No, I'm not. I'm basically just using the solder that is on the end of the iron. Every now and again I will freshen it up with some new stuff. And I'm using the flux on the board to kind of keep that solder being nice. starting to dry up a little bit here at the moment, so I'm just going to now trim this off gently. There we go. Just move that to one side. And then what we'll do is we'll go through and we'll make everything look nice with a big dob of flux. Okay. Because we're talking about absolutely minuscule amounts of solder here. Out of the way, out of the way. Fume extractor. Don't vex me. Out of the way. Out. Crap. I am just making such a mess of this one. Okay. Needless to, you can probably tell from my complete and total silence at the moment that I'm concentrating a bit. The real challenge with this one is going to be when I actually stick that component down. Hello, friends. Okay. Which tend to be worse off? The Mac 2 boards, and I think it's money just because of their age. The Mac 2s are a little bit older. The Mac 2, a lot of the early ones had soldered on batteries, and even though those axial varters don't leak particularly badly, they do leak. They're like a little slow kill type thing, and you just end up with little black blobs all over the place. So yeah, I think probably just based on what I've been seeing lately, the Mac 2 is more of a disaster. Every Mac 2 that I've had come to me lately has involved huge amounts of trace repair. Whereas most of the SE30s, even though, you know, there's lots of leakage and there's corrosion and maybe one or two trace repairs, the Mac 2s are easily the worst. So, yeah, just let that be a lesson for anyone out there with a Mac 2. Now, I might see if I can fit a big bit of wire through this hole that you can just see there, because this might help me a little bit with the, when I go to attach that to the pin. There we go. So I'm going to just put some solder on that. I'm going to melt it. So these, as I've mentioned in my other videos, the wire that I'm using is actually enameled wire, which means that it has a little coating on the outside to insulate it. I like that. It's very handy, and particularly if you're needing to run wires over a distance, it means that it is insulated. However, when I need to make a join, I need to melt that coating off. And so that's what I'm just doing there. I'm just melting that coating away so that I am actually soldering straight onto wire. Oh, that's a lot of solder. We don't need that much solder there, no. There we go. That's better. So I'm just going to leave that up there because I'm going to bend that down on the pin once I put the component on. So he's just going to be up here, floating around, being a happy little piece of wire, staring off into space. Right. I'm going to have to be so careful here because anytime I put solder wick down, I run the risk of removing the work that I've done. Okay, so let's go to the next one. We've got our beepity beep machine here, which you won't be able to hear because of the fume extractor. But he goes, he's gone too. Oh no. Ah, Crazy Tech Reviews, hello, hello. YouTube decided to notify you, isn't that nice? Haven't had a chance to watch a new vid yet, but I will, I promise. Okay, so once again, I'm going to do the same with this that I did before. Grab my twicers. And put him Sure. Stay. You just need that initial anchor. Once we get that first anchor down, it does get a lot easier. It's nice when you get it straight though. There we go. Right. Now, just for anyone who's watching this and might be sort of thinking, hey, okay, I want to give this a try. I just always like to mention that I have my soldering iron blazingly hot for doing this stuff. So if you're ever trying this and you're going, oh, I can't, you know, when I put my soldering iron there, that stuff doesn't melt, doesn't solder the same way it does when Bruce does it. It's because I do have my soldering iron really, really hot. Way hotter than anyone would recommend. So I'm just telling you that just in case you're ever trying this yourself and you can't get it to work the same way. I don't actually recommend that everyone does run their soldering iron as hot as I do. You know, certainly not from a beginner's perspective. I think, you know, if you're a bit new to soldering, you run the risk of doing a bit of damage if the soldering iron's too hot. But I just felt it was my duty to let people know that that's what I do. I'm running mine at 450 degrees C. That's as hot as my soldering iron will go. It's a Hakko FX951. It's a genuine Hakko one. It's not a knockoff. And as I say, that is the highest temp that it will actually let me set it to. So basically I started off with something that looked terrible. I'm going to finish with something that looks terrible, but just a different kind of terrible. Come on. Need a little bit more solder. Ow. Tweezer's hot. Ow. Can't the sparks just jump between these broken traces? Well, if you were to put maybe 10,000 volts down them, possibly. But these things are going to be carrying like 3 volts, 5 volts, 1 volt, that sort of thing. And that sort of voltage is not going to generate a spark. What some people often forget is when we talk about insulation, you know, we talk about, oh, you know, what's an insulator? And we can say, oh, you know, plastic is an insulator, and we know wood is an insulator, and all that. Well, there's one other insulator is air. And so if you have, you know, sort of air between these things, you provide insulation. Now, as you pointed out, you can actually get electricity to travel through air if you have enough of it in, you know, in the form of a spark. You know, we're all seeing like a spark on a cigarette lighter, or you know, obviously if we're looking at lightning traveling through the air and that sort of thing. But we are talking about really high voltages to do that. Really, really high. And there we go. So let's just check and see if we've got some beepity beep beep here now. Yep, we're good. Okay, let's continue down here. Again, I just need to work out... Oh, I don't need to go all the way with this one. What about this one? I'm getting really confused now. Yeah, okay. Oh, hang on. Confusing me. Having trouble staying here. Alright, I should just deal with this one at a time, because as soon as I go a little bit further, I confuse myself and forget where I am. I mean, on the board, that is. I don't mean, I know I'm sitting here in my shed. I have awareness of that, so don't freak out too much. But I just mean, like which trace lines up with what. Okie dokie. Does anyone have any plans for New Year's Eve? Are you allowed to have plans for New Year's Eve this year? I know that a lot of plans have been stymied because of that whole pandemic-y thing. Hey, got a little piece there. I don't want that. You're watching my 6-hour live stream. Yeah, this definitely won't go for 6 hours. I have made arrangements for me to stream for a little while longer, and then I will break for lunch. And I may come back to this and do another stream. We can call this one part 3, because this is sort of part 2, because I did part 1 of this computer yesterday. I did enough to make me think I really don't want to be working on this, but it has to be done. And it is a chance for me to get all posh with my soldering skills and show off all these fancy trace repairs. Let's get the old beepity beep and just be sure that we have got a nice big lump of continuity here. And we do. Now let's move down to the next one. What is going on here? There's definitely a break there. So I am going to have to run a trace all the way up there. Or two. I might do one at one end and one at the other. Just need to clean it up a little bit. I am getting a little bit confused in all the grubbiness. Alright. Let's try that again. Because Steve is the one that does the really long live streams. This is really messing with my head. Okay, definitely got a break there. Definitely. Okay, do I go all the way, or do I just do 2 trace repairs? I don't know. Well, that was handy to find one of those in the dump, especially if it still works. One man's trash and all that, the old saying goes. Now that's not what we want. That is what we call a bridge. Alright. Let's just do it. Let's just not question. Let's just do it. Do it for Queen and Country. There we go. Oh, geez, I'm a bit on the warm side. It's not that warm. It's only like 22 degrees, but I might have to turn on the old AC in a sec. my fancy air conditioning unit that I received a lot of help from my viewers to get. Once I told people that I was aiming to get an air conditioner for my workshop, I started getting a flood of super chats. And so I decided to go out and get a new air conditioner the next day. And it's just there. Do-do-do. Up we come. Up, up. Oi. 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 Okay, that's better. I'm trying to remain super neat and tidy. Then every now and again I just get this wave of impatience. It's just like, just finish it. Okay. Okay. Drugs are bad. Okay. Oh boy, I'm getting there. Sorry guys, this is probably a little bit like watching paint dry. Working our way through. Now this one here I may not need to do anything to. Have a look at it. Looks rather nice. Go from there, dun, 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 to there. Oh, it's turned off. It does it sometimes. Well, Nick, don't worry about that drunk guy. He doesn't know. Okay, no joints needed there. I've got a bridge. I've got a bridge, which is going to stuff up all my continuity tests, so I better get rid of it. Okay, I stream in the background while I hunt bad traces on a Mac 2 CI. Good luck with that. In the startup circuit, of course. A little cluster of capacitors there in the corner. Yep, I know the exact zone you're looking at there, Lane, and I have been there many times before. The CI is another computer that I feel is worth the effort. You know, if there's damage, I am a huge fan of the 2CI. Okay, that one's good. Next one down. Not so good. That's this one, not surprising. Look at that. What? Don't mess with me. I'm going to just run it from probably about here up to, I guess, probably about in the middle there. Yeah, probably about here. Okay, let's get back to it. No time to dilly-dally. What? Alright, alright, alright. Probably start from the top and work down. Masterful. Stop it. Just stop. Oi. Stop it. There we go. Okay. It's not brilliant, but... Shivers. Shivers regal. Oopsie. Need more flux here. It's getting a little bit lumpy. And bridgy. Okay, I think that's okay. Right, let's get that out of the way and then we'll do some more beepity beeping. Yay! Next one down. Yep, we've got trouble here. There we got ourselves 3 kinds of different trouble here. Just going to have to do something along the middle there. Come on, I've got little bits of wire everywhere. Why don't I don't need to grab new ones, do I? Here we are. Here we are. Oh, sorry about the lack of entertainment, folks. I mean, I am just so concentrating on this. It makes it very hard for me to go in and say really interesting things and provide all sorts of fancy little anecdotes and all that sort of stuff. It's just... and for that I apologise. Oh, piffle. Lee, will you just stay down there? You thing, you? I really should be doing this at a different angle. But as I mentioned during the live stream yesterday, these boards suck because they're so big. Keep jabbing myself too on something. Okay. Jab, jab. Okay. You want when you're doing these live streams, live stream repairs, what you want is you want a nice fine line between a challenge, but then something that's sort of entertaining as well. This one, it's the challenge component of it is way higher than the entertainment part. Okay, that's good. Just want to tidy that off a bit. There we go. So we're going to need to do a repair here. I've got a Mac 2FX here at the moment for repair. It looks like it's just a straightforward recap. I don't think there's going to be anything really nasty with it, but I don't get 2FXs very often because there aren't very many of them out there. It's a computer that I would absolutely love to have in my collection, but I've pretty much given up any hope of getting one for a reasonable price. And there is a limit to how much you can kind of justify in terms of what you spend when you have a collection the size that I do. Now, no, my collection is nothing like Steve's or Grudy's, but I've still got an awful lot of Macs. Anyone who might be watching this for the first time and might be like, who are these people you speak of? This Steve Van Gruty. Well, Steve from Mac 84 and Gruty from Ripke Mods. Both have fantastic channels with wonderful content. So if you've got a bit of spare time, why not jump on and look them up? And the reason why we call him Grudy is because of the way a kind of text reader pronounced his name once. His name is Greg Rutke. Oh, slime. Yes, there's plenty of slime there, Yusuf. 2FX is the best Mac. Yes, well, you know, the one thing wrong with it, of course, is the fact that it uses different RAM to any of the others. But I guess the upside to that is that RAM is actually faster, so it is, you know, a nice quick Mac. Is it just me, or are we ready to stick a component on here? Just going to get some stuff on here. And I think once I do have this component on, if I'm happy with it, I will probably end the stream and go and eat my lunch. I may stream again after lunch. We'll see what happens. I've actually got quite a bit of pre-recorded YouTube content to do. The live streams are fun and nice and quick and easy. But I do also have quite a bit of pre-recorded content that I need to provide. So that's where, you know, I actually go in and I script things and talk about a particular subject and, you know, try and be informative. And in particular, I've been doing my video on Beginner's Guide to Soldering has been doing extremely well on the YouTubes, the tubes of you. So I thought I should probably do a follow-up to that. I'd like to get a bit of UV mask on this before I put the component on, so I'm probably going to do that now. Who knows how much I should put on. I'm just going to move this aside for a second, and we'll jump across onto this view here. And I'm going to tip this up on an angle. And as Jamie Oliver would say, I'm going to... Oh, I'd say nothing because it's falling on the floor. Just a sec. You'd say, take this from a height So when I put UV mask on, it needs a nice clean surface to adhere to. So that's why I'm sort of spraying this and trying to get it cleaned up. For anyone who wants to see what the stuff looks like that I've been doing, that's how to focus. Can I focus it? You watch, I can do this, I go to this one, I go to show webcam settings, I go here to advanced, and I go to focus auto. So focus. Yeah, I'll do it manually. Okay, so that's all the trace repair that I've been doing in there. You can see all the traces there, and as you can see, they look a lot neater when you zoom out like this, rather than the ugliness they were before. Okay, so autofocus doesn't seem to do a particularly good job, but anyhow, never mind. We got to see it. That's the main thing. Right, so let's see if I have got enough. I've got this clean enough for a bit of UV mask. Reasonably clean. I've just got to be so careful with this because I don't want to damage what I've been repairing. It will make me feel a fool. Alright. Okay, so quick little check with the multimeter before we seal this in for good. Oh, okay. 25 people watching. Hello to you. Jump on and say hello if you haven't already. That's good. That's good. That's good. It's good. 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 Right. Let's slather on some UV solar mask. Slather, slather, slather. I'm obviously going to leave a little bit here exposed where the pins of the component are going to sit. Yeah. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What have I done? Oh no, it's all good. I just noticed someone sent a message with a video into the group chat. And often when our little group does that, it's because they've found something rather amusing from one of our live streams, and then they broadcast it to the rest of the group. And I was worried that I might have done something embarrassing or silly that had been broadcast to the rest of the group. But thankfully, it was just someone in the group announcing they had done something cool. That's fine. Now this stuff here, once you've got it on and once it's dried, the only way you can remove it is by a method they refer to as mechanically. So in other words, there's no solvents or anything that are going to get rid of this. You've got to just remove it by scraping it off. So that's why I did all those continuity tests before I started painting this on, because if it turns out that I have a problem here that I need to sort out, I don't want to have to sort it out once I get all this goop on there. Doo-doo-doo. You can see the way I'm doing this so that there's plenty of UV mask on either side of the wires, because I'm using that as kind of like a buttress for the wires to hold those wires in place once I get some heat on them. Trina, hello, how are you? Thank you for joining. We will not have any criticism for you being late, but just know it has been noted. Right. Okay. Alright, there we go. That's enough. I'm going to now look at curing that stuff, and then we're going to grab the component, see if we can clean that up as well before putting it back on. Thanks for bringing a smile to my face. You're most welcome. You're most welcome. I am sorry you're on the grumpy side today, Trina. It is unfortunate that life does do that from time to time. We're looking at the Mac 2 that I was looking at yesterday, the spaghetti one. And we're looking at a section here that I didn't actually even discover yet. I didn't see it yesterday during the live stream. After I finished the live stream, I was just looking around the board and I saw this component. I thought, oh dear. And I've been doing nothing but this the whole time. And once I do get this component on, I'm probably going to finish the stream. It will be a short one, and for that I apologize, but that is basically just because I've sort of streamed at a silly time, i.e. Lunchtime here. I haven't had breakfast, and I'm getting ridiculously hungry, and I do happen to know that my wife, who has been out, has just arrived home with lunch, which will of course need to be heated up, but so the sort of the desire to eat is going to outweigh my desire to continue working on this horrendous board. Which component is this? This is UC7. I can't tell you much more than that. But it is connected to the new bus slots, so it is probably something to do with that. There are a whole bunch of them. If you have a look, there's this UF8, UF7, and then UE7, and UE8, and UD7, and UD8, and then we've got UC7 and UC8. These are all connected up to the new bus slot, so they are something to do with that, but I don't exactly know what. And so, truth is, I mean, if I didn't fix this, it would probably still work. We'd probably just have a dodgy new bus slot, but, you know, I'm going to fix it. I'm going to do it right. Do it live. Do it live. Okay, so I'm just going to now sit this under a UV lamp over here while I look at the component. So this is still sort of curing a little bit while I do the next bit. Manage. Get there. There you go. Okay. So this is the component I took off. Or did I just drop on the floor? That's fine. This is the component I took off, and I just want to clean this up a little bit. As you can see, it's a little bit scungy, and we've got some bent pins and all sorts of fun and stuff. Yeah, I think I still think most of the new bus would work. Maybe just one slot not working. And let's face it, there's a lot of new bus slots on these. So I've got to clean this up. I've got to straighten these pins. I don't know which part to do first. Oops, I've got green stuff on my finger. Helping with the focus there. Okay, so whoopsie! Don't want to break one of these off, please no. Right, so let's clean these up. So this is generally how I clean these things up. It's a fairly unconventional method and probably not the right thing to do, but it's what I do. So I get these and I put a great big blob. This is about a 1.5 Rossmans on there of flux, and then I get a whole bunch of solder on the end of my iron. I hold this component down and I do a little bit of a back and forthy rub like this. Back and forthy rub. And what I'm basically trying to do is I'm trying to push away any old crusty solder and replace it with this nice fresh solder that I have on my iron. Like that. And I'm wanting to see that solder adhere nicely to those pins. Okay, it's good. It's looking good. Yeah, it's very good. It's very good. I will not be testing it before the end of the stream. No, that is correct, Trina, and for that I apologise. I know there's a certain expectation. I thought I might be able to, but the more I work on this, the more I realise how much time it is just going to take. It might even work now, who knows, but I suspect not. Right, so these pins are looking fairly good. I think they'll be good for adhering, but I do want to straighten them up a bit. How do I do that? How do I just have something in my hand and then lose it? Never mind. Some of these pins I will probably need to bend out a little because they're going to have wires under them now, whereas they didn't before. Looking good. Now let's do this to the other side. Once again, at least a good 1 to 1.5 Rossmans of flux. Yes, actually, that's a really good point. For anyone who might be feeling down and sad because this is going to be a short stream from me, if we're super specially nice to Steve and ask him very nicely, he might live stream after I do, and to keep us all happy and keep us all entertained. So, shall we ask him? Steve, will you live stream after me? Please? Alright, so I've cleaned this up a little bit. I'm now going to douse it in a bit of iso alcohol. That's a fancy abbreviation of isopropyl. Some people call it iso alcohol. Some call it IPL, I think. I have a tendency to just refer to it as isopropyl alcohol all the time because, you know, why not? But if I do abbreviate it, I tend to call it ISO. There we go. Now, I don't know how well you guys remembered how this component looked before, but these pins look all nice and straight now, and all nice and clean, and all ready to adhere to our ugly board. This poor board's going to get a complex, isn't it? Okay. All right. Oh boy, I'll tell you what, I'm having dumplings for lunch and I'm just imagining eating those dumplings and I'm getting really excited. Right, so we've got, where's the dip? The dip's on that side, so that's pin 1, so that needs to be that way around. He's going to sit there. I like to scrape the top of this one here where I got a little bit of green funk on it. There we go. Okay, and then of course we're going to need to douse this in Fluxaroonie. It's going to be an interesting one, make no mistake. Bear with me just a brief moment. Hey, I'm back. Okay, there we go. Back to this. All right, so I'm doing it. This component is going on. That is inevitable. So, put that there. There's resting on top. So what I might do is I might just get a couple of anchors done to start off with. So, I'll get some solder. I'll hold this down. Oh, I forgot to let the chickens out. I can hear them getting rowdy. Don't want to upset those chickens. Okay, there's one anchor. There's 2 anchors. Okay, so let's just see if we can... Yeah, okay, that side's enough. That's all I'm really concerned about at this stage, is to get that so that it doesn't move. And then, let's sort of try and put this here around this way. I can push this down. So if I push it down, I can get these ones flush, and then the ones on the wires will just sort of bend up a little bit. All right, let's do this thing. Now, I would normally drag solder when I'm doing this, but when I'm doing this with these weird things going on here, I'm not going to drag solder. I do 1 pin at a time. Need more flux. Need more solder as well. It's sucking up the solder. Okay, then we've just got to get this guy. Yes, that is exactly right. So basically, this board. So just August, hello, thank you for joining. This is a board, a Macintosh 2 board, and it had quite a bit of trace damage on it. And what happened is, not the person who sent this to me, I should add, the person who owns this board now got it from someone else with this damage done. And essentially, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to neaten it up. More importantly, make it work, because even with all this stuff that's been done to it, it doesn't work. So I'm having to clean up the mess. And as I said before, I've got no issue with the fact that this person has done this, the person who worked on it. They had a really good old crack at it, but it's just not... They weren't able to fix it, so... There we go. Got a big fat wire there. I'll just trim the top of that off. And then we've just got a little bit of neatening up to do on this side. This is our happy side. And more flux up this end. Flux burns away, and when it burns away, it stops being effective. So there we go. So that's on. Now let's grab a little bit of iso alcohol and clean him up again. And the hope is that that's all sorted now. I will just zoom up a little bit. I'll just blow some of this alcohol away. Okay, so let's just start at the top. Oops, let's not do that. That will melt. Okay, let's start at the top here. And so these top two were okay. These top two here were okay. This one here, I've run a new wire across into that via that goes through to the other side of the board. I need to trim the other side. That one's okay, that one's okay. This one here, I've run a wire across there, and I've created, and that wire then runs across up here and along there and along there. And I'm using that wire now as a pad. Now, of course, we can test that with a little bit of the beepity beep beep continuity, which you won't be able to hear because of the exhaust fan. But I'll be able to hear and tell you it's beeping. We go from there, whoopsie, there, to there. Yep. And there, to the yep. And there, yep. And there, yep. Yep. So they're all good. So all those little wires that I'm now getting to be pads are all doing their job. Now, once this has been through the ultrasonic cleaner, once it's all been done, I'm then going to absolutely slather all of these pins in UV mask, which will help give it some rigidity. That'll, adhere to those pins and keep them all strong. But that is that. That one done. So I'm going to be finishing the stream in a moment, and for that I apologise because I just started the stream at a stupid time and I want to go have lunch. And having said that, I think I've been going for over an hour, so it's not like it's that bad. So that's that basically done. But just from a quick tour of the board perspective, here are some of the other problems we have. Now, here's what I fixed yesterday. So this was a damaged trace that I'm just going to move the camera a bit. Damaged trace that I repaired, placed the new trace wire there. Now, this is what was done by the previous owner of this board. And what I'm ultimately going to be doing is removing all of this spaghetti and redoing it neater, tidier, and hopefully make it work. So I'll be honest, I think I've done the worst of it. I don't want to say that too loudly because I might end up cursing, jinxing myself. But we've got one to do here. We've probably got a few to do here because we've got all this blackening of the traces. And if any of these are not making contact, yeah. So whereas this person's running a wire from there to there, what I'm going to do is I will run a trace wire and follow the contour of this original trace, and it will look much nicer. So, yep, that's the spaghetti. So anyhow, that's it. So I may come back to this today, and if Steve is streaming, I of course will not stream. We have a kind of a gentleman's agreement that we don't, as much as possible, we try not to stream on each other's streams. We do try and organise it beforehand. We say, hey, is anyone else streaming? No? Okay, I'm going to stream now. Oh, all right, I might stream after you, that sort of thing. Because we're all very nice people. I mean, we're not really, but we pretend to be. Failing that, I will come back and I'll probably finish this off and test it in another live stream. But I will make sure that whatever happens with this board, I will record the test. So even if I'm not live streaming it, I will record the test. So, all right. Well, once again, sorry that this was such a short live stream. And here's my Cyberdyne Systems Corporation shirt. And I would like to thank you all for dropping by. and I enjoyed the company while I was working on this horrendous thing. As I say, I will be streaming again fairly soon. I don't have a whole lot of my other work on at the moment, mainly just repair work. So it's going to be repairs and repairs. So Steve will be live in a few moments. There is a link there in the chat. So make sure you click on it and make sure you watch Steve, because we know it's going to be fun. So everyone, I say thank you for watching, thank you for persevering, and I will see you hopefully at the next live stream. So pressing the end stream button and saying goodbye. Goodbye.